Good morning, everyone. How are you? Did you enjoy yesterday's story all about the story behind the Chinese New Year? I certainly did. I especially love learning about Chinese New Year. It's one of my favorite celebrations to think about because I love the idea of the zodiac and you being like the animal whose year you were born in. I wonder if you can guess what year I was born in. What do you think? I hope you didn't say ox, because I'm definitely not as big as an ox. I was born in the year of the rabbits. If you haven't Googled what animal's year you were born in, please make sure you do that, because it's really fun to find out which animal you are and what you are like. I think my description of me as a rabbit is quite on the head, to be honest. It says that I'm kind. Well, I like to think I'm kind. It says that I'm a bit playful. Think so. And it also says I don't like arguments, and that's very true. So if you haven't had a go at doing that, definitely have a Google on that later and find out what Chinese New Year animal you are, your mum is, your dad is, your dog is. Have a little look. It's definitely something to find out about. Now, for today's lesson, we are going to do a story map, just like we've been doing with all of the other traditional tales. But we're going to do a story map for Chinese New Year. Now, we haven't really practiced this retell, so I'm going to use the video that we watched yesterday to help us. So for today's lesson, you're going to need a piece of paper with our standard story map S on it, or backwards S shape on it, ready to draw your pictures. You're going to need some pencils, some colouring pencils if you want to make your story map really beautiful, and then your listening ears. So, do you think you can go and get those things whilst I share my screen? Okay, you go get your things then. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Right then. So, what is the first part of a story called? We should be getting really good at this now, because this is the 4th time we've done it. Is the start of a story called the middle? Is it called the end? Or is it called the beginning? Can you tell your mums and dads? Did they get it right? It's the beginning. And I wonder if you can remember what we find out in the beginning of a story. Come on, I'm sure you can think of one thing that we find out at the beginning of a story. Can you tell your mums and dads? Hope you got it. In the beginning of a story, we find out where the story is happening, and that's called the setting. We find out who is in the story, and those people are called the characters. In this story, our characters are actually animals. And then we also have the dun 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 moment, the problem, the thing that makes everything go a little bit topsy-turvy. Shall we listen then to the story of the Chinese New Year? Let's listen to the beginning and see if we can pick out the characters, the setting, and that problem, that da-da-da moment. Okay, let's go.
It was coming up to the new year. 12 animals were arguing. There was a rat, an ox, a tiger, a sheep, a rabbit, a dragon, a snake, a dog, a horse, a rooster, a monkey, and a pig. They thought the new year should have a name. They were arguing because each animal wanted the year to be named after himself. There was
Right then. Oh, the beginning of that story. Let's get our story map out then and let's get ready to draw. So, where do you think this story is set? I don't think it says it explicitly, but I think we can probably figure out that if it's the Chinese New Year story and we're thinking about the names of the Chinese years, whereabouts do you think this story might be set? You know the name of that country? Okay, write it on your story map then. Oh, I've not got the very best pen for this today. And who are the characters in the story? Now you can draw each of them if you like. You could write the number. You could just maybe draw 1 or 2. It's up to you. But can you tell your mums and dads all of those animals that are in the story, all of those characters? Do you get it? And finally, what is the problem in this story? What's going a little bit wrong? What is going to set off all of the events in the middle of this story? What are all those animals doing? You draw a picture, and you can pause the video if you want to draw your pictures a bit better. Okay, pause the video if you want more time on your pictures, and then come back to me once you've drawn about the beginning of the story. Have you done it? I hope so. Shall I show you mine? I've not got the very best pen today, but I've had a go. So I've remembered that this story is happening in China, and I've remembered that there are 12 animals, and I've just drawn my favourite one, which is the rabbit, because obviously I am born in the year of the rabbit. And then I've put here the thing that started going a bit wrong is that they were all arguing. Can you remember what they were all arguing about? They were all arguing because they wanted, get it? They wanted the year to be named after them, didn't they? Because they thought they were the most important and they were the best animal. Right then, let's see what happens in the middle of our story. Now, can you remember what normally happens in the middle of a story? What do we normally have? And how many of them are there normally? You get it? So we normally have some events that happen in the middle of the story. Some things happen. They could be scary things, they could be spooky things, they could be funny things. I wonder what events are going to happen in the middle of this story. The traditional tales that we've been reading about have always had 3 events in them. But I wonder how many events are going to be in the middle of this story. We might need to count them. There might be a different number. Let's watch the middle of the story then and see what weird and wonderful events take place as a result of this argument that the animals are having.
Such a noise that they disturbed the Jade Emperor. Oh, whatever is the matter with you animals? Jade Emperor asked. One by one, they explained their problem. The Jade Emperor thought it over. I've got an idea, he said. Can you see that big river? Why not have a race across it? We can name this new year after the winner of the race. All the animals agreed that this was a good idea, but each one secretly thought that they would be the winner. They all hurried to the river and lined up for the race. Ready? Steady, go! With a mighty splash, the animals leapt into the river and started swimming as fast as they could towards the other side. Now, the rat wasn't the best swimmer, but he was the cleverest animal. He saw that the ox was going to win the race, so swam as fast as he could and grabbed hold of the ox's tail. He climbed up the tail and onto the ox's back. Just before the ox reached the other side of the river, the rat leapt over his head onto the bank.
Oh my goodness. Right then. Were you counting those events? Did you see me in the corner? I was counting those events as they happened. Let's go through then and let's plot them onto our story map. So what happened because of all of their arguing? Who did they wake up? Can you draw a picture of him? Oh, Mrs. Golding's fabulous drawings there. Yeah, that's definitely him. He woke up and what did he tell them to do? He told them to have across the, did they have to go across? Have you drawn it? I've tried. And as they were having a race, what happened? What was that very cheeky thing that happened? What animal was the cheeky animal? Got him. And what did he do? Oh my, this is a fantastic drawing. He got it. He jumped onto him. And then what did he do? He jumped onto the bank and he was there. Wow. You take a second then to finish your story map and to plot those 4 events on to your map. Pause the video if you want to take a bit more time on your drawings. I recommend you do take a bit more time than my drawings took. And come back to me when you've plotted the middle of your story on your story map. You done it? Did you get them all? Let's go through then the ones that I've got. So I've put 4 events for the middle of this story. I've drawn a picture of the Jade Emperor. I'm going to do some, oh my, expressions because he's been woken up, hasn't he? So I've put that as my first event in the middle of the story. And what did he suggest? He told the animals to go for a race. And I've drawn a picture there of the river, that's definitely a river, of a river that they've got to race over. Okay, brilliant. What happened during the race? Oh, well, I've tried my very best. This is a rat and this is an ox. What did the sneaky rat do? He jumped onto his back. Uh-oh. And then what was that final event in the middle of the story? What did the sneaky rat do? He jumped over the ox onto the riverbank and he was the winner. Ooh, wow. That was a very exciting middle of the story, wasn't it? It's a little bit different to our traditional tales. In our traditional tales, the events that have happened in the middle have always been quite similar, haven't they? They've done kind of the same thing again and again and again. But in this story, they don't at all. Let's have a look then at the end of the story. And in the end of the story, we are going to find out the solution to our problem. So the problem was, what was it? They were all arguing about who gets to have the year named after them. So we're going to find out now in the ending who gets to have the year named after them. And then we're going to decide whether or not it's a happy ending or a sad ending or a scary ending or a funny ending. Let's have a look then and listen to the end of the story.
Hooray! I'm the winner! He squeaked. Hard luck, Ox, laughed the Jade Emperor. You're very strong, but Rat was too clever for you this time. We will call this year the Year of the Rat. Ox, you were second, so next year will be the Year of the Ox. One by one, the other animals finished the race. Oh, well done.
Excuse the phone going off in the background.
We will name a year after each of you, in the same order that you finished the race.
Brilliant. So, excuse the phone going off. My husband has an important call just happened there and the dog barking in the background, but I hope that didn't distract you too much and that you were able to pay attention to the end of the story. If not, you could always rewatch this video, the video that I posted yesterday, so you could rewatch the original video. Sorry about that. So, the end of the story. Did we find out how our problem was fixed? What happened to the namings of the years? What did the Jade Emperor decide was the best solution to that problem? Is every Chinese year called the Year of the Rats? Or did he come up with a different solution? And finally, what do you think about the ending of that story? Do you think it was a happy ending? Do you think it was a sad ending? Do you think it was a fair ending? I tell you what, you draw your pictures now and you can pause the video if you want to. So what was the Jade Emperor's solution? And what do you think about the ending of that story? Did Do you think it was happy, sad, fair? What do you think? So, I hope you've enjoyed drawing your story map. I put my solution to that was that the Jade Emperor decided that the rat did win, but that all of the other animals had had a really good go. So he was going to name each year after the animals in order. I thought that was quite a fair ending to the story, really. Although I think perhaps one animal might have decided that that wasn't a very fair ending to the story. I wonder if you can remember the name of that animal. Which animal do you think didn't think it was a fair ending at all? Use your story maps to retell this story. You can retell it a couple of times in different ways. You could even use your story map to act out the story and have it as a bit of a reminder in case you get stuck in the middle and forget. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed revisiting that story and mapping it out. I look forward to seeing your story maps on Class Dojo. Don't forget to post them. And if any of you do act out the story, my goodness, don't forget to film that. I can't wait to see what you've done. Okay, well done everyone. I'll see you soon. Bye.